Okay, folks, before we even get started, I need you to hit that subscribe button right now because what I'm about to tell you is going to sound like the most bizarre case of deja vu you've ever experienced in your life. We are literally living through the Shohei Otani situation all over again. The same energy, the same chaos, the same absolute insanity. Except this time it's Kyle Tucker, and according to multiple reporters, a decision is coming in the next few hours. Not days, not weeks, hours. So if you're not subscribed with notifications turned on, you're going to miss the biggest Blue Jays free agency moment since the last time we went through this exact same roller coaster of emotions. Now, I need to say this up front because I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh no, not again. Please don't do this to me again. I can't handle another one of these situations. And I completely understand that reaction. I get it. We've been hurt before. We've had our hearts broken. We've experienced the highest of highs followed by the lowest of lows. But this time feels different. And I'm going to explain exactly why over the next few minutes in excruciating detail. Because the parallels to the Otani situation are both hilarious and terrifying, and maybe, just maybe, this time the ending is going to be different. Let me set the scene for you. It's happening. It's all happening again. The rumor mill has exploded into absolute chaos. Random people with varying levels of credibility are dropping bombs on social media. Blue Jays fans are stalking everyone's recently followed lists on Twitter and Blue Sky. Reporters are saying a deal could come as soon as today. Former teammates are being quoted about Tucker's preferences. The Mets have made a massive offer. The Dodgers are lurking. And through it all, Blue Jays fans are sitting here having full-blown PTSD flashbacks to December 2023 when we all convinced ourselves that Shohei Otani was definitely, absolutely, 100% coming to Toronto. The only thing missing, and I cannot stress this enough, the only thing we don't have yet is John Morosi tweeting about a plane. But give it time. Give it time. Because everything else, and I mean everything else, is hitting the exact same beats as the Otani saga. And it's driving Blue Jays fans absolutely out of their minds. Let me walk you through what's happened just in the last few hours. Because if you're not constantly refreshing Twitter, if you're not obsessively checking every Blue Jays reporter's timeline, if you're not deep in the trenches of Blue Jays social media, you might have missed just how utterly insane things have gotten. 32 minutes ago. As of the time I'm writing this, she divided one of the most plugged-in Blue Jays reporters in the entire media landscape, followed Kyle Tucker on Blue Sky. Now, does this mean anything concrete? Who knows? It could mean absolutely nothing. It could be a complete coincidence. Or, and this is what has Blue Jays fans losing their collective minds, it could mean that she knows something is about to happen. It could mean he's preparing to cover the biggest free agent signing in Blue Jays history. It could mean that Kyle Tucker to Toronto is not just a possibility, it's an inevitability that's about to be announced to the world. This is the level we're at right now. We're tracking who reporters are following on social media. We're analyzing every single move, every tiny action, every digital footprint looking for clues about what's going to happen. And you know what? This is exactly, and I mean exactly, what we were doing during the Shohei Otani sweepstakes. People were tracking planes. People were analyzing flight patterns. People were convinced they'd cracked the code based on who was following who and when. It was madness. Beautiful, glorious madness. And we're right back there again. But it gets better. Or worse. Depending on your perspective and your tolerance for chaos, a guy on Twitter with about 8,000 followers, who identifies as some kind of Red Sox podcaster or writer or something, posted that according to sources, the American League is about to get a lot more competitive. Then he posted that Kyle Tucker to Blue Jays was happening soon. And then, get this, he deleted the tweet. He deleted it. Do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of all those random accounts during the Otani situation posting insider information that turned out to be completely wrong. It reminds me of the chaos and the confusion and everyone trying to figure out what was real and what was speculation and what was just someone making stuff up for engagement. And then, as if that wasn't enough, as if the universe decided it hadn't tortured Blue Jays fans sufficiently, Machbaum made his return. For those of you who weren't around for the Otani saga or who have blocked it from your memory as a psychological defense mechanism, Mockbomb is this Twitter account that posted during the Otani sweepstakes that Shohei was locked into being a Toronto Blue Jay. He was wrong. Spectacularly wrong. Otani signed with the Dodgers, and Mockbomb became a meme, a symbol of false hope, a cautionary tale about believing random accounts on the internet. Well, guess what? Mockbomb is back. And he just posted breaking, Kyle Tucker to the Blue Jays. That tweet has over 600,000 views. 600,000 people have seen this completely unverified claim from an account that has been wrong before. And Blue Jays fans are caught in this impossible position of knowing better, knowing they shouldn't believe it, knowing it's probably nonsense, but also kind of wanting to believe it because what if this time he's right? What if Mockbomb has somehow stumbled into legitimate information? This is the Otani situation all over again. The same energy, the same chaos, the same random accounts posting bombshells, the same deleted tweets, the same desperate searching for any shred of information that might tell us what's going to happen. We're in the full-blown madness phase of free agency, and honestly, as stressful as it is, as anxiety-inducing as it is, there's also something kind of beautiful about it. Because it means we care. It means this matters. It means the Blue Jays are in the mix for a generational talent, and we're all along for the ride. But here's the thing, and this is important. Amidst all the chaos, amidst all the random Twitter accounts and deleted tweets and social media stalking, there is actually legitimate reporting happening from credible sources. And that legitimate reporting is what should have Blue Jays fans genuinely excited and optimistic about what's about to happen. Jon Heyman, who is one of the most respected baseball insiders in the business, reported that folks involved say a deal for Kyle Tucker could come as soon as today. As soon as today, not next week, not in a few days, today. And then he added something fascinating. He said that former teammates guessed that Tucker would prefer Toronto over an even bigger market. Prefer Toronto over bigger markets like New York and Los Angeles. Think about what that means. Think about the implications of that statement. Kyle Tucker, according to people who know him, people who played with him, would rather play in Toronto than play for the Mets or Dodgers. That's not just about money. That's about fit. That's about comfort. That's about where he thinks he can be happy and successful. And apparently, his former teammates believe Toronto is that place. Heyman went on to confirm what we already knew. The Mets offered $50 million per year. The Dodgers are used to winning and remain in the mix. But anyone else would be a major upset. Except anyone else in this context refers to teams outside of the Mets, Dodgers, and Blue Jays. Toronto is in the top tier. Toronto is one of the 3 teams that realistically has a shot at landing Kyle Tucker. And according to Heyman's sources, Tucker might actually prefer the Blue Jays. Robert Murray, another credible reporter, it's confirmed just minutes ago that a decision is most likely to happen in the next few hours. Ken Rosenthal was on foul territory recently and said he expected an announcement yesterday. It didn't happen. So now everyone believes it's coming today. The timeline has accelerated. The finish line is in sight. And the Blue Jays are right there, neck and neck with the biggest spending teams in baseball. Jeff Passan dropped a bombshell last night that somehow got lost in all the other chaos. He reported that the Toronto Blue Jays have been the only team willing to go as deep as 10 years on a contract for Kyle Tucker. 10 years, think about what that represents. That's a commitment not just to Kyle Tucker the player, but to Kyle Tucker the cornerstone of your franchise for the next decade. That's the kind of offer you make when you're all in. When you're not just trying to compete, but when you're trying to win championships. When you're signaling to the baseball world that Toronto is serious, Toronto has money, and Toronto is not backing down from anyone. The Mets reportedly offered $50 million per year over 4 years. That's $200 million total. Massive money. Life-changing money. The kind of money that makes you seriously consider signing regardless of where the team is located, or what their championship prospects look like. But the Blue Jays? The Blue Jays might be offering something in the neighborhood of 10 years, which, if we're doing the math, could be anywhere from $350 million to over $400 million, depending on the annual value. That's not just competitive. That's potentially the biggest offer on the table. That's the kind of money that says, we want you more than anyone else wants you. And we're willing to prove it now. Here's where the Otani parallels get really interesting. And also really scary if you're a Blue Jays fan with trust issues and emotional scarring from December 2023. During the Otani situation, we had J.P. Hornstra, an actual credentialed reporter for the Baseball Writers Association of America who covers the Dodgers, tweet that Otani was signing with the Blue Jays. It wasn't speculation. It wasn't a rumor. It was presented as fact from someone with actual credentials, and Blue Jays fans went absolutely ballistic. The city lost its mind. People were planning parades. And then it turned out to be wrong, and Otani signed with the Dodgers. And we all felt like we'd been punched in the stomach. We're not quite at that level yet with Kyle Tucker. We don't have a credentialed beat writer saying definitively that he's signing with Toronto. But we're getting close. We're in that dangerous territory where the signs are pointing in Toronto's direction, where the reporting suggests the Jays have made the best offer, where former teammates think Tucker prefers Toronto, where everything seems to be aligning perfectly for this to actually happen. And that's when Blue Jays fans get nervous. Because we've been here before. We've felt this hope before. And we know how badly it hurt when it didn't work out. But here's why this time might actually be different. Here's why I'm allowing myself to be cautiously, carefully, guardedly optimistic about the Blue Jays' chances of landing Kyle Tucker. First, the Blue Jays just made the World Series. They're not a team that might be good someday. They're not a team in the middle of a rebuild. They're a team that competed for a championship. They're a proven winner. They're a place where Kyle Tucker can come in and immediately compete for titles. The Mets, for all their spending, are still building. The Dodgers are always good, but they also have an aging roster and significant question marks. Toronto offers Tucker the best chance to win right now, in his prime, when it matters most. Second, the money is real. The Blue Jays aren't getting outbid here. They're not coming in with a low-ball offer and hoping Tucker takes a discount to play in Canada. They're reportedly offering 10 years, potentially over $350 million. That's real money. That's competitive money. That's the kind of offer that makes Tucker and his agent sit up and pay attention. Third, and this might be the most important factor, Tucker apparently wants to be in Toronto. Not because he's settling, not because it's his backup option, but because he genuinely prefers it. Jon Heyman's reporting about former teammates believing Tucker would prefer Toronto over bigger markets is huge. It suggests that Tucker values things beyond just the biggest paycheck and the brightest spotlight. It suggests he wants to be somewhere he'll be comfortable, somewhere he'll be appreciated, somewhere he can just play baseball without the insane media circus of New York or Los Angeles. And there are other signs too. Other little omens that have Blue Jays fans reading tea leaves and looking for meaning in everything. Today is International Signing Day in baseball. It's a significant date on the calendar. And some people are speculating that Tucker choosing to announce his decision on this particular day would be a good omen for Toronto. Is that reading too much into things? But at this point, we're all looking for anything that might give us a clue about what's going to happen. There's also the fact that Tucker is friends with Miles Shaw and George Springer, both of whom have spoken highly of playing in Toronto. There's the fact that the Blue Jays were the first team to bring Tucker in for a visit to their player development complex. There's the fact that every credible reporter seems to agree that Toronto is genuinely in the mix, that this isn't just the DJs being used as leverage, that there's real substance to their pursuit. All of these things add up to a picture of a team that has done everything right. They've made a massive financial offer. They've sold Tucker on the vision of what this team can accomplish. They've leveraged their existing relationships. They've showcased their facilities and their development system. They've made it clear that Kyle Tucker isn't just another free agent signing. He's the centerpiece of their championship aspirations for the next decade. But despite all of that, despite all the positive signs and the encouraging reporting, Blue Jays fans are still terrified. Because we've been hurt before. We remember the Otani situation. We remember how close we thought we were. We remember John Morosi's tweet about the plane. We remember J.P. Hornstra's report. We remember the hope and the excitement, and the crushing disappointment that followed. And now, here we are again, going through the exact same emotional roller coaster. Except this time, the stakes feel even higher, because this time, the reporting seems even more solid. The Blue Jays' chances seem even more real. And the possibility of actually landing a generational talent seems tantalizingly within reach. The social media reaction to all of this has been predictably chaotic. Blue Jays fans are simultaneously excited and terrified. People are posting about the plane even though there is no actual plane this time. People are making Otani jokes and references. People are posting memes about their emotional state. And through it all, there's this underlying current of genuine hope that maybe, just maybe, this time, it's going to work out. Someone on Twitter posted a screenshot of Davidi following Kyle Tucker with the caption asking what it means. The replies are full of people either reading way too much into it or trying to talk themselves down from getting too excited. Someone else posted about how this is the exact same script as the Otani situation, questioning whether we're being trolled all over again. Another person asked if the plane stuff is fully back, or if this is slightly less chaotic than the Otani circus. And you know what? It's a fair question. Is this the full Otani experience? Or is this something slightly more grounded in reality? I would argue it's somewhere in between. We don't have John Morosi tweeting about planes. We don't have a credentialed beat writer definitively saying Tucker is signing with Toronto, but we do have multiple credible reporters saying a decision is imminent. We do have legitimate reporting about Toronto's massive contract offer. We do have sources suggesting Tucker prefers Toronto. This isn't baseless speculation. There's real substance here. But that doesn't mean we should let our guard down completely. Nothing is official until Kyle Tucker signs a contract and the Blue Jays announce it. Until that happens, anything can happen. The Mets could come back with an even bigger offer. The Dodgers could restructure their proposal. Tucker could surprise everyone and sign somewhere completely unexpected. Free agency is unpredictable, and we've learned the hard way not to count our chickens before they hatch. What we do know is this: a decision is coming very soon. Multiple reporters have confirmed it's likely happening today or within the next few hours. When I say hours, I mean that by the time you're watching this video, it might have already been announced. That's how close we are. That's how imminent this is. And the Blue Jays are one of 3 teams in serious contention, with some reporting suggesting they might actually be the favorites. The next few hours are going to be absolute chaos. Social media is going to explode with every rumor, every speculation, every random account claiming to have inside information. Blue Jays fans are going to be refreshing Twitter constantly, jumping at every notification, analyzing every tweet from every reporter. It's going to be exhausting and exhilarating and terrifying all at once. And when the announcement finally comes, when we finally know where Kyle Tucker is signing, this city is either going to erupt in celebration or collectively sigh in disappointment. There's no middle ground here. There's no, well, at least we tried consolation prize. Either the Blue Jays land one of the best players in baseball and immediately become World Series favorites, or they don't, and we're left wondering what could have been. But here's what I keep coming back to. Here's what gives me hope, despite my better judgment telling me not to get too excited. The Blue Jays have genuinely put themselves in position to win this. They've made the best financial offer. They're coming off a World Series appearance. They have the relationships and the infrastructure and the vision to sell Tucker on what this team can accomplish. They've done everything right. And sometimes, when you do everything right, things actually work out. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm not saying Blue Jays fans should start planning the parade. But I am saying that if there was ever a time to be optimistic, if there was ever a situation where Toronto had a legitimate shot at landing a superstar free agent, it's right now with Kyle Tucker. The pieces are in place. The offer is on the table. And according to people who know Tucker, he actually wants to be here. One way or another, we're going to know very soon. The waiting is almost over. The speculation is about to end. And the Blue Jays are either about to make franchise history or we're all going to need therapy to deal with another crushing free agency disappointment. I'll be here the second. Any news breaks? I'll have a video up immediately breaking down what it means, what comes next, and how we should all feel about it. Because whether it's celebration or commiseration, we're going to get through this together. So right now, right this second, I need you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because when Kyle Tucker makes his decision, when that announcement drops, you're going to want to be among the first to know. You're going to want the analysis, the breakdown, the reaction. And I'm going to deliver all of that the moment it becomes official. Smash that like button if you're as stressed out about this situation as I am. Drop a comment below and tell me how you're feeling right now. Are you optimistic? Terrified? Cautiously hopeful? Are the Otani flashbacks overwhelming you? Do you think the plane memes are funny or just painful? Are you ready for your heart to be broken again, or do you actually think this time is going to be different? Let me know what you're thinking, because we're all in this together. We're all experiencing the same emotional roller coaster. We're all desperately refreshing Twitter waiting for news. We're all having Shohei Otani PTSD flashbacks. And we're all about to find out if the Blue Jays can actually pull off the impossible and land Kyle Tucker. The next few hours are going to be wild. Stay tuned, stay subscribed, and let's see if this time, finally, after years of disappointment and near misses and heartbreak, the Blue Jays can actually close the deal on a generational superstar. Let's go Blue Jays, please. Baseball gods, let this work out. We've been through enough. We deserve this. Kyle Tucker, welcome to Toronto. I hope maybe, probably, we'll find out very soon. See you in the next video, when we either celebrate the biggest signing in franchise history or collectively mourn another one that got away. Either way, I'll be here.